Hi. Sorry for the low quality. I'm using my phone. But that's besides the point. This is a It Gets Better video. Because I felt like since I got out of the hospital, I should make one for reasons. Maybe it'll help somebody else. Okay, so I'm not saying what's happened to me is the same as what's happening to you. Let me just start from the beginning. When I was born February 19th, 1999, in Texas. And my father was not in the picture until I was 5. And my mom was not a good person. She did a lot of bad things, a lot of drugs. And I basically had to raise myself till I was 5. I won't go into detail of some of the bad things that happened, but I wasn't allowed to see my big brother. I'm not allowed to see him. A lot of bad things happened to me while I was with my mother. And when I turned 5, my dad got custody of me, full custody of me. And we moved to maybe either Jackson or Mississippi. And we moved in with his new wife named Sherry. Now, Sherry had never dealt with someone like me, a child that's different. And I guess she just didn't like me, or I just wasn't her picture of the best daughter. But later, she divorced my dad because she couldn't handle me. And that's when things got worse. My dad tried dating off and on with other girls, but it took him till I was 8 to find my mom, my mother now. Her name is Heather. She's the best thing that's happened to me so far. And when I was 8, we moved in with her. Again, bad things started to happen, and I felt like I wanted to be anybody else. People were mean to me, new school, no friends. I'm always that weird kid. Nobody ever wanted to sit with me at lunch, cause I do this little thing. Cause I have. Okay, let me tell you what I've all been diagnosed with first. Anxiety, general to severe anxiety, major mood disorder, severe depression, schizosomatic disorder, borderline personality disorder. What else? Oh, and what's it called? Post-traumatic stress disorder. So, for my anxiety and to help cope, it's one of my coping skills, I rock back and forth. So everybody would always ask why I did that. And I never really at first knew why I did it until I got older. Because I've always done it, so it was just part of me. So yeah, new school. No, I got called a lot of names. And that's when I started looking at myself, realizing I'm different than everyone else. And that's when I started getting depressed. But it got worse around my teenage years, my preteen teenage years, when I started figuring out the first time I ever encountered someone who trigger warning. I'm going to be talking about self-harm. First time I ever saw someone with stuff on their arms was in middle school. And I asked them why they did that. And they said, "'Cause I'm sad." And I realized I was sad too. So that was the first reason I ever started. But then it got worse, and I realized sometimes I deserved it. 'Cause I'm a bother to other people. People shouldn't have to deal with me. I'm not someone to be dealt with. I shouldn't be a bother to other people. So I would hurt myself. But it got to the point where I kept feeling more and more like shit. The first time I tried to kill myself was when I was 14. I tried to hang myself with a belt in my room. But my brother walked in and the belt broke. And he pulled me downstairs and told my parents. So we went to the hospital. But I didn't get any treatment. And we just went home and everything was back to normal. Then later, I would still cut. I met a girl named Aaliyah. She was my best friend. She was my world. But she was a bad influence. She did drugs. I started to do drugs. This was around 15, 16. She also taught me how to huff stuff. And that was very bad. Because you can drown your brain. When I was 16, I met a guy online. Another trigger warning coming up. Just prepare yourself. His name was Tim. I called him Timmy, or Dweeb. He liked me, and he said he was 17. I felt sorry for him, because at the time I had a girlfriend. Oh yeah, also yeah, I like boys. I mean girls, but I have a boyfriend now, but it doesn't matter. And he would make me feel sorry for him. He would make me feel sorry for him. And so I would continue to talk to him. And one day he wanted to meet. So we hung out at the park. He would be very touchy with me. And I went to a party. My friend's birthday party. Got drunk. And texted him. And we hung out. He gave me more alcohol. And he raped me. I always try to make light about it because I have PTSD from it. So if I start talking about it, it makes me have flashbacks. But this helps. So yeah, he raped me. And we had to go to the police because I thought I was pregnant. I didn't tell anybody that he raped me until I told my mom I thought I was pregnant. And we went to the police. The police looked him up. And I think a lot of people should know his story because he did not get what he deserved. He was not 17. He was 28. And I was 16. He only got 2 weeks in jail. And he was supposed to go to prison for 2 months to 12 years. But he took a plea deal. And then started to stalk me after. But only because my mom worked at a store that he knew, and he would have stare downs with her. He would harass my family. After that, him not getting what he deserved, I tried to kill myself again. I tried to hang myself in the girls' bathroom of my school, of my high school. This is where Aaliyah comes back in. I fell to the ground, and only one other girl was in the bathroom. And I guess I was out of it, but I guess I told her to go find Aaliyah. And Aaliyah ran into there and held me in her lap and took the belt out from off my neck. And I told her I think I need to get help. And we just went on regular for that day. Because it was just a day where we were in the gym. Because it was like the end of my junior year. So it took me going home, my dad seeing belt marks around my neck, for him to call crisis. This is the first time I was ever put in a hospital. But I met a great person at this hospital. I went to Cumberland Hall. It had school, and it had an open day room and bedrooms. I was not allowed to have a roommate because I was apparently SAO and because I liked girls. SAO means sexually acting out. So I was never allowed to have a roommate. So it was just me alone in a room the whole time. So when I went there, I learned coping skills. You know, like this. This is called chicken fingers. Also, drawing is my coping skill. And art. One of the good things I got out of the hospital was, one, the mental health help and stuff, and new meds. I had been on meds before.